By the time it gets through there and the gravel has taken all the road salts and oils and brake fluids and whatever else comes off of cars and vehicles in here, limestone collects all that stuff, so the water goes out into Meadow Lake very clean. Because it does, it allows us to plant some of our rare wetland or water's edge plants out there. It's really pretty if you haven't had a chance to walk that yet. Or come back when there aren't 16 trillion people here. So that's what that thing is. December the 14th, 1922 was the day that Joy Morton signed the papers forming the Morton Arboretum. He did so on 175 acres of his estate, and that was over on the west side, and eventually we'll get over there. Today we are 1,700 acres. There are 1,100 acres here on this east side where we are right now, and 600 over on the west side where we will get to. He founded it on three principles: collection, research, and education. And those three principles are what we still follow to this day. This is, the word Arboretum means living tree museum, and that's what this is. It is not a park. It is privately held. It's funded by the Morton Family Foundation, as well as entry fees and memberships and all the other kinds of crazy things that go on around here. So it's all privately held. We have some 175 full-time employees, roughly the same number of part-time employees, seasonal and permanent part-time. And then our most important asset are volunteers. We have some 1,700 volunteers that you'll see here just about any day of the week doing all kinds of crazy things. Today you'll find them out here at the Asia Fest with their bright green t-shirts on. They'll be pulling weeds some days, planting plants, working with the research folks, doing all kinds of crazy things. Well, if you've been here before and taken a walk, you may have noticed on most all the trees around, there is a tag. Those of you who haven't, you get a chance to take a walk today, please do, or some other time. There's a tag that's about 3 inches long. It's about 1.5 inches high. It's always on the south side of the tree. Trying to figure out where you are by the compass, know that when you find one of those tags and you're looking at the tag, you're facing north. The tag has the common and scientific name of the plant up in the upper left-hand corner. The lower left-hand corner has a series of numbers and letters, and they may say things like 255, 63, PLT. Well, basically that means that was the 255th plant planted here in 1963, and it was planted as a plant. If it had a big S where the PLT was, it means it was planted by a seed. And there is numbers and letters on the lower right-hand side. The reference to a grid map that we keep in the visitor center and the plant clinic. So if you ever want to know what a plant's going to look like, if you're thinking about buying one, give them the name of the plant. It doesn't need to be the scientific name. Just give them the name of the plant, and they can tell you where here in the grounds you can find it. Well, now, if you look down here to your right, below us, you'll see that where we would normally come out, that's Tram Road down there. And then the lake beyond it, that's Meadow Lake. And if you continue to look all the way across the valley to where the trees are on the far side over there, where the tree canopy ends, there are spruces that poke up above it over there. Well, below those spruce trees is where the Morton family mansion was, and where today the Thornhill Education Center is, and we're going to get over there. Right now, however, we're going to go through our conifer collection, or conifer walk as we call it. The word conifer simply means cone-bearing, but not all cone-bearing trees are evergreen. Things like larch and dawn redwood and bald cypress are deciduous. Those needles do turn color in the fall and fall off, and then regrow again in the spring with the flowers and when the cones start to grow. One of the things, if you walk in this area down below us, is our disappearing act plants. And those are plants that in their native habitats are disappearing. And one of those is right here alongside of us with that orange peely bark. That is paper bark maple. In its native habitat in China, it is all but gone except in very remote mountain areas. We have 3 plants here that are doing the same thing in North America, and that's the Georgia oak as well as Fraser fir, which a lot of folks used to use for Christmas trees. As long as it's nursery grown now, it's safe. If it's not, if it's wild grown, if anybody's cutting them down, they shouldn't be, because they're only available in very, very remote mountain locations in Georgia, or in out in the Virginias. Well, here we're coming through on our left. We just passed through our rose family collection. The rose family is one of the largest in the world. Some of its members have as many as 500 different members in their species. The rose family has somewhere around 5,000 different plants within a species within the family. And things like our apples and peaches and pears and blueberries and strawberries and raspberries and blackberries all reside in the rose family. One of the larger members is to our right is the crabapple collection. There are about 160 different varieties here, and then there's another 50 or 60 over in our flowering trees on the west side. And if you've been to the grocery store of late and you bought apples, well, every apple you buy, Fuji's and Red Delicious and Granny Smith's and all of those, they trace their heritage right back to the crabapple. And if you ever had crabapples off the tree, as I did as a kid, you know how crazy sour they are. How they got Red Delicious out of those, I will never know. Well, if you look to your right and down below us, you see Crabapple Lake. It is one of 8 lakes we have here on the campus. They are all man-made. Crabapple was the last one built. It was built in 1988, and it was built to create that hill you see, or berm you see way out in the distance out there.